Okay, so I'm going to bring you the body of knowledge I titled the fourth dimension. And this training is going to be very quick, straight to the point. I titled it the fourth dimension. And it's a sequel to the trainings I've been giving. On Workers' Day, I gave a training for the warrior leaders on the true definition of work. Then I did a training also for the workers' meeting where I explained the mystery of work. And today I'm talking about the fourth dimension. And it's very important to note that every of this body of knowledge that I have been dishing out, it's targeted for one purpose. And the purpose is to make you to come to a position where you are able to build something that will stand the test of time. That being said, I want to start by saying this. I'm talking about the fourth dimension, but let me retreat to the first, second, and the third dimension. So when you say a great man is not necessarily great because he works hard. No. There are people that work harder than the man, but not as great as the man. A man is a function or a reflection of the dimension he's operating from. So I'm going to talk about the one-dimensional part of life. The one-dimensional part of life is a straight line. The one dimension is a straight line. In science, is defined as length. Just one dimension. And this one-dimension part of life, I call it the basic life. Remember that I said that every human being is operating in a dimension. And by the time I'm done with this training, you'll understand the dimension you're operating on and what you need to do if you want to move from one dimension to the other. Remember that in order to reiterate, I also said that the results that you achieve in life is a function of the dimension that you're operating on. That's why I see some people that say, this person is not, are you sure this person is a human being at all? I was listening to, somebody sent me something about Messi. They said Messi is not a human being. Messi is not normal. Messi is this, Messi is this. I think in the last game it's called a goal and 5 assists. It's like, this guy is not normal. This guy is not normal. It's Messi, Ronaldo, and others. This guy is not from this planet. The honest truth is, Messi, what the person is trying to explain is that he's operating in a higher dimension than ordinary people. He's a human being, he's flesh and blood, but his results do not depict what ordinary footballers can attain. That is why they are explaining him out of the normal mortal. They are thinking he's a mortal. They are thinking he's not normal. They are thinking he's a spirit. What they're trying to tell you, what they're implying is that he's operating on a higher dimension. So the basic dimension, I call it the one dimension, is called the one dimension. I call it the straight line dimension. It's called the length. And this is the instinct education. I call it the basic human life. Now everything that is living has the one dimension, operates in one dimension. When you're born, you start with the one dimensional part of life. The animal life is one dimensional. What is the one dimensional part of life? It's just the basic instinct. A cockroach knows that if there is heat, he will run away. A rat knows that if you want to kill it, it will run away. These are instinctual, cognitive dimensions of life. You don't need to do anything. It's follow come. Even the ants know that if you chase it, it will run. I call it the animal life. Unfortunately, a lot of us human beings live this one-dimensional life. It's basic. So people might call it common sense. What it means is that you don't need to go to school to get it. You just have it. That is how most of us are living our lives. One-dimensional. Everything just happens to you. It's just normal. Of course, if you're hungry, you eat. If you go to work, you get paid. Basic thing. People that operate this one-dimensional aspect of life don't have their mind renewed. They are just operating basically. They don't use their mind. But that is not my area of training today. So let me move on. The second dimension, that's the next level, is defined as length and width. Now, the first dimension is just length, straight line. Anybody goes, what a child, the one-dimensional life. Let me go back so you understand. When you give birth to a child, he knows he has to suck breast. You don't teach that child. The child knows he has to cry. The child knows there are certain things they don't teach a child. Those are one-dimensional. Animals do it, cockroaches do it, birds do it, dogs do it. Normal one dimension. But when you get to the second dimension, the two-dimensional part of life, that is when it's not just the length, but the width is added. Now you now have some width. It's not just a straight line. It's not just base and formless. There's a width, and that width I call it basic education. That is where your mind is basically put to work. That is where you begin to get some information. That is where you get external information that helps you to ask certain things. The one dimension tells you that when you're thirsty, you drink water. The two dimension begins to tell you, okay, you can take energy drink. If you need energy, it's not just water. There's certain kind of water you can take. You don't just drink water. You drink purified water. You drink water that is clean. All right. It tells you may need to eat certain kind of food. Now the two dimension tells you that is a dimension where you live off information. There's certain information that is acquired. It has width. It's not just length. It's not just a basic instinctive knowledge. There's an external factor coming in. There's a width. There's external information. That's where you go to school. They tell you, okay, this is wrong. Okay, this is right. They tell you, they begin to teach you basic laws of life. When you begin to apply those basic laws, that's the two dimension. But it's also just basic information. The two dimension is when you hear that if you want to succeed in this business, you need to prospect. You already know you have to prospect. You already know you have to do big announcements. You already know certain things. You need to deal with rejection. Those are the things that the two dimension part of life. These are what I call information. You get information. Remember that I've taught you before that information doesn't really mean knowledge, because there are lots of information everywhere, but it doesn't mean that you know something. That I informed you about something doesn't mean that you know it. Knowledge is a deeper realm of information. So the two dimension is a place of information, and that is where you have to use your cognitive, not just your instinct now, but acquired information to help you to walk. Oh, don't use that road, though. Bandits are attacking there. Or don't move at night. Or there are certain things that information brings to you. But unfortunately, most people live their lives based on this two dimension. Just basic information. Basic information they get from the internet. Basic information they get from school. But the thing about the second dimension is that your mind has to work. You're not just walking like an animal. You're not just walking like a child. You have sense. Your mind has to work. That is the two dimension. But unfortunately, the results in these two dimension are also flat results. They told us go to school. You have gone to school. I've gotten a degree. That's all. Okay, you get a basic job. You're working for a salary. Your life is just normal. It's a little bit above the one dimension, but your life is just normal. Yes, it has an edge, because right now you have a certificate, you have school, your mind can put to work. But if they check your life, nothing really is spectacular. It's just a normal thing. Now, let me move to the next one, which is called the third dimension. Now, I'm going to be fast about it because this is not my train. My train is on the fourth dimension, but I'm taking you from steps and layers and layers. So when we get to the fourth dimension, now I'm also saying this so that you know which level you're operating on. People that operate in the second dimension, their life is the way is normal. Go to school, they get a job, guess what? Their salary is 70,000. They get a civil service job or they get a bank job. After 2 years, 3 years, they get promoted. They're following the normal level of life if your life is just going normally, what is expected, then you're living in the second dimension, the two-dimensional part of life. If your life is predictable, if your life is normal, then that's the two-dimensional part of life. But there's a higher realm, and the higher realm is called the third dimension. In the third dimension, you have the length, the width, and the depth. This is where depth comes into play. In the second dimension, there's no depth. It's just length and width, what everybody. But in the third dimension, you begin to have what I call knowledge. This is where understanding is given. It's called depth is added to it. It's not just two-dimensional, it's not three-dimensional. This is where problems are solved. Now, the third dimension is where people become successful. Oh, this person is successful because there is depth. You're a medical doctor, there is depth. You're not just a graduate. There is depth. There is knowledge. You're differentiated from every other person. That's where people begin to see you successful. The second dimension is the average life. The first, the one dimension, not the second dimension. Let me put it this way: the one dimension is the basic life, the flat life. The two dimension is the average life. I call it mediocre life. Mediocre, at least you're surviving. At least you're surviving. Last. I'm not the best. I'm not the worst. I'm not the best. But I'm not the worst. I'm better than some of my mates. At my age, my mates, at least I'm better. You're a mediocre. I've gone to school. You're the average. You're the masses. The one dimension are the underprivileged, the downtrodden, the people that didn't see light. The two dimension are the people that are average, they're mediocres. But the three-dimensional people are the people that have depth. They have knowledge. They are successful. They have depth. They are better than their peers. They have depth. Their peers, they have length and width, but they have depth. The third dimension is a dimension that you are better than, you're the cream of the crop. Now, in the third dimension that you solve problems, because you have knowledge from more information. The second dimension operates on information, but the third dimension operates on knowledge. So you have some level of knowledge. So they're clapping for you. You're the cream of the crop. You're the A students. Those are the A students. You're the first class material. You solve problems. You're good. But that's the third dimension. But the problem with the third dimension is this. There are certain limitations because they're operating in the third dimension. The third dimensional person is limited to what mortals can achieve. They are the higher realm of mortals. What I'm talking about today is the fourth dimension. In the fourth dimension is the dimension that includes space and time. The fourth dimension is where creation begins to happen. In the third dimension, you're working with what you're given. In the fourth dimension, you're creating some things. The fourth dimension is the place where I want us to operate. That's the place I want to operate. In fact, there's the fifth dimension, there's the sixth dimension, but I'm not talking about that. Because when you begin to go to the fifth dimension, that's not the issue today. The issue today is the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is where you begin to invent things. You see, in life, there are people that things happen to. But there are people that happen to things. In the fourth dimension, you create your future. Things no longer happen to you. You begin to happen. In the fourth dimension, you begin to design your life. For those of us that came to Immersion, when Pastor Samuel was talking about the designer's phase, in the fourth dimension, you begin to design your life. You begin to invent. You begin to create. That's the fourth dimension. It's the dimension of space and time. That's the dimension people begin to say, this person like Lionel Messi. This is not normal. Don't bring him in our. He's a footballer. Don't bring him in our sphere. The fourth dimension is a place you begin to function like a god, because you're created in the image and the likeness of God. So that's where you begin to create like God creates. People that operate in the fourth dimension, anything they touch turns to gold. Anything they touch turns to gold. Why? Because they are not just allowing things happen to them. They have taken charge of their lives and they are creating what they want to see. That's the fourth dimension. In the fourth dimension, you happen to things. Things don't happen to you. You don't become a victim of life circumstances. Instead, you create the life and the future that you want. In the fourth dimension, you can predict your life. You can say in the next 4 years, this is what I will be. You don't leave things to chance. 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, luck happens to them. There's a dint of luck happening to them. But in the fourth dimension, there's nothing like luck. In the fourth dimension, you create the life that you deserve. You create the life that you want. So I've talked about the 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and 3 dimension, the 4th dimension. The 4th dimension is a place where you are in charge of your life. You can say in the next 3 years, this is what I want to become. And you create it. Let me take a little bit back to the creation of the world. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The earth was without form and void. God was in space. And God lives, where God lives is called eternal. There's no time. It doesn't operate with time. That's why they say a day with the Lord can be 1,000 years. Where God lives and dwells, there's no time there. That is why when God says in God's time, it doesn't work with time. But He has to create a space, and He has to create an earth that works with time. That's why He created the sun to govern the day and the moon by night. So when God created the sun and the moon, He created times and seasons. Prior to creating the earth, God was timeless. So what happened was that He came into space and time and He began to create. Let there be this, let there be that, let there be this, let there be that. In the morning, even in the morning, it was the first day. Prior to that creation, God was existing in a timeless zone. That is why after this world is wrapped up, we enter into eternal life, eternity, where there is no time. Now in the 4th dimension is the addition of the space and time. That is where creation begins. You cannot create in the timeless zone. Where God is, God created the heaven and the earth. That's the place where time operates. But in where God is timeless. So now let me bring it down. When you begin to operate in the 4th dimension, you begin to create the life that you want. Let me say this. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What it means is that God does not dwell in the heavens because He created the heavens. If I create something, I don't live there. But that's for the theologians to dissect. But when you begin to function in the 4th dimension, you assume the nature of God and you begin to create your life. You begin to say, this is how I want my life to be. This is how I want my business to be. In that dimension, you are not limited by what limits mortal people. Now, people think that this fourth dimension, no, you're being esoteric. No, it's not being esoteric. That is the dimension that every human being should press into. The likes of Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all those people, they are living in the fourth dimension. That is why they can create a phone. That is why they can create a laptop. That is why they can create Zoom. Because in the fourth dimension, they bring to reality what people in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimensions enjoy. If not for people that operate in the 4th dimension, this life will be a hell of a place. I call them the 1% crazy. Those are the people that are making this world. Imagine this life without the aeroplanes. The people that created the aeroplanes are people that operated in the 4th dimension. The people that created the phones, the communication gadgets, the cars, everything that you see that has made life enjoyable are people that live not in the 3rd dimension, not in the 2nd, not in the 1 dimensional, not in the 2 dimensional, not in the 3 dimensional. There are people that operated in the 4th dimension. So they are the people that have made life so enjoyable. That's why you can pick up your phone, call your loved one in America, and you can Skype. That's why somebody in America is watching me online real time. It is a product of the 4th dimension people. You are not just on earth to function in 1 dimensional, 2 dimensional, 3 dimensional. You are here to function in the 4th dimensional. So people in the 4th dimension, they don't complain. It's when you see somebody complaining, he's in the 1, 2, or 3 dimensional. When you see somebody, the people in the 4th dimension, they can't see them. I've ever seen people, they can never complain. They don't have to complain. Why? Because they know that they're the ones that created the life that they see. Oh my goodness. They're the ones that created the life. That if they want to change it, you can't see these people that are in the 4th dimension complaining. You can never see them complain because they're the architect of their lives. They believe that if I don't want it this way, I can change it. And if I can change it, who am I complaining to? How do you tap into the 4th dimension? People that live in 2-dimensional life, their life is so boring, The life is so boring. The life is just so boring. There's nothing exciting happening in their life. They wake up, they're tired to wake up. They know it's just to eat eba and begiri. There's nothing exciting about their life. 2-dimension life. The 1-dimensional life is the animal life. There's nothing differentiating you and a dog and a cat. It's the same life, just the way a dog. The 1-dimensional life, nothing. When somebody that live in the 1-dimensional life dies, nobody knows that he dies. Nobody is aware that he dies. He died. The 2-dimensional life is the boring life. There's nothing happening, nothing exciting happening in your life. The 3-dimensional life is where things begin to happen. You're making success. Some people are clapping for you, but you're still limited. How many of us listening to me, you have some level of success, but you feel so limited? You feel like you want to break through. You feel like there's more to me than this. But even though people are saying, when I was working in a bank, I was living a 3-dimensional life. People say, oh, you're working in a bank. Oh, come on, you're a banker. Oh, you're doing well. Oh, hey, it's fine. This guy's a banker. Oh, great. You put your laptop in, you have your ID card, you have your complimentary card, you have your car, you have your suit, dressing good. You're just good. People are clapping for you, but somehow, even though people see they're successful, I'm a banker. I work with First Bank, I work with this, I work with this. There's this persona around you. People see you're successful. But somehow, inside of you, you know that you're limited. You know that I can. There's something about me that I can be more. You feel like you're being killed. You feel like you can break out. This is not what I should be. I was earning salary that people envy, but inside my mind, God, my life cannot be this. People are clapping for you, but inside your mind, I deserve more than this. I am worth more than this. I can do more. Something in me was yearning for the 4th dimension. I'm going to talk about the 5th dimension, but not today. not tomorrow. If you want to learn about the fifth dimension, come to. Who knows where I will talk about the fifth dimension? If you know it, go and chat. Go and type in the chat box. Where am I going to talk about the fifth dimension? If you know it, tell me. Why will I talk about the fifth dimension? If you know it, tell me. If you know it, tell me. Emphanizo, correct. That's why I'll talk about the fifth dimension. So if you want to learn about the fifth dimension, emphanizo. Sorry, it is in the fifth dimension that everything you touch turns to gold. It's not in the fourth dimension. No. The fourth dimension, that's where you create. In the fifth dimension, which I'm going to be talking about in October, emphanizo. That is where everything you touch turns to gold. But let's talk about the fourth dimension. That's where we are. And that's the purpose of this training. So in the fourth dimension, you create the life that you desire. You're in charge of your life. If you feel frustrated, when you're in the fourth dimension, you don't feel the frustration other people feel. You don't even complain about the government. You don't complain about your upline. You don't complain about your leader. You don't complain about your downlines. You don't complain about your business, because somehow you have been given the power to detect how your life goes. How do I tap into the fourth dimension? The first way to tap into the fourth dimension is what I call vision obsession. Now, in the fourth dimension is a dimension of space. It is where your mind. Now, if you want to begin to operate in the fourth dimension, stop bothering yourself with food. Stop bothering yourself. People that operate in the fourth dimension, they don't bother themselves with food. They don't bother themselves with money. They don't bother themselves with the clothes they wear. They don't bother themselves with the material things. When you say somebody is so materialistic, he can't operate in the fourth dimension. The first gateway to tap into the fourth dimension is to stop bothering yourself about mundane things. Be obsessed with a vision. Be obsessed with a vision. Let me break it down. Have an imagination of what you want to become, what you want to create, who you want to become. Now, when I woke up in the morning, what comes to my mind is not what I'm going to eat. It's not even what I'm going to dress. Some of us, when we wake up in the morning, all we're thinking, they will spend 1 hour thinking about the dress they want to wear. No, of course you dress well. I dress okay. I try my best to dress okay. But that's not what bothers me. That is why men that have gotten to that level, they wear, when you go to Mark Zuckerberg, he wears a t-shirt. Why? Because he doesn't want to bother his mind thinking of what to wear. They just wear t-shirt. They just have signature outfits. I'm trying to get a signature outfit for myself. So every time I just wear it. Okay, let me look. No, they just wear a signature outfit. When you see them, look at great men. They just wear a signature outfit. If it's suit, they just wear one white suit. If it's black, they just wear. They just pack it and they just wear it. Why? Because men that operate in the fourth dimension above, they don't think about what they wear. They don't think about the food that they eat. They don't think about material things. They don't think about car, house. They don't think about those things. They are obsessed with a vision. They have an imagination of what they want to become, who they want to become, what they want to create. And I'm going to explain to you how it works. For example, now, I want to become an emerging cell leader. I want to become an 8-figure earner. So someone that operates in the fourth dimension, when you come to his mind, the only thing he's thinking in his head is how to create a big team where he becomes an 8-figure earner. How he becomes an emerging cell leader, how he becomes a cell leader, how he becomes a global leader, how he builds a massive team. That is the only thing that enters his mind. For you to operate in the fourth dimension, you must ascend gossip. You must ascend gossip. You don't discuss men. You don't discuss it. People in the fourth dimension, they don't spend their life watching people on Instagram, YouTube. They don't do that because they are the people that people will watch eventually. They want to be the ones that are creating the things that people are watching. So they spend their times, imagination, their focus, they're obsessed, they are passionate about a particular thing that they want to become, or who they want to become, or what they want to create. I want to become a two-comma club member. I want to become a J leader. I want to create. They go and find out what does it take to become an emerging J leader, a cell leader. That is all that there is in their mind. They are so obsessed that all of a sudden, because they're obsessed, they begin to create vivid images of who they want to become. Do you remember those days in school? You're obsessed with this course that all of a sudden you begin to create, imagine the course in your head. You imagine the lecturer. You're so sold out to a vision. That is the gateway. Because the fourth dimension, that's the gateway to the fourth dimension. Because the fourth dimension is the place of space and time. It's the place, your mind is a broad field. You begin to work with your mind. It's a place of vision. To raise financially free people. I want to raise 1,000 financially free people. I know that the mission for Tito Energy is to raise 50,000. I want to collect 1,000. How do I raise 1,000 millionaires in my team? You're obsessed with it. You drink it. You imagine it. You see your DTC. People that operate in the fourth dimension, their DTC they're only checking their DTC. Okay, this one, I want to put somebody here. I want to put somebody here. They're obsessed with a vision. And another thing about that vision is that they are focused. They don't have this. I want to do this. When you see people that today they want to do this, tomorrow they're obsessed with this, next month they're obsessed with this, they're obsessed in the space of 6 months, they're obsessed with 4 different things. They can't operate in the fourth dimension. Because when you want to operate in the fourth dimension, you must be focused. If your eye is single, the eye is the light of the body. If your eye is single, how lightened is that body? Their focus is only one thing. Can I ever seen a Lionel Messi and a Roger Federer or a Novak Djokovic? See somebody in football, champion, becoming the best in football. You also see them becoming the best in tennis. It doesn't happen. You see a fighter, a Floyd Mayweather or an Anthony Joshua, and you also see somebody that is an academician, a professor. No, you choose your path and you focus. That's how you tap into the fourth dimension. You focus. You're doing this business. How come? Somebody asks, how come inside this business you have not looked to the left or not looked to the right? Is it that there are no opportunities coming? But no, you're focused because you can't do two things at the same time. Even when the Lord and Master Jesus came, he said, for this one purpose was I born. Only one purpose. He did not come to two purposes. He is God, but only one thing. He said, my eyes is fixed on the prize. The great man is one thing that they are known for. Show me a great man that is known for two things. Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr. Show me what are they known? One singular thing. So they are obsessed. My mentor told me divided energy is divided destiny. When you divide your energy, you divide the destiny. Your lifetime is not even enough for you to achieve one thing. So you see them, they are obsessed in the line of a particular thing. They begin to create images. I saw where I am today. I saw the images. It was clear where I am today. It was clear. The images was clear. The image was clear. That is how you tap into the fourth dimension. And that's where you begin your vision. You begin to create. The person that the Wright brothers that discovered the aeroplane, That's where they operated. I want a metal object flying in the air. They were so obsessed. That's the body of work. They didn't know them for two things. When they say right, brother, is the aeroplane. They didn't create the aeroplane and also created bottled water. No, there's something that their body of work led them to something. Obsession. You begin to create it. All of a sudden, you know exactly what you want to become. You know what you want to achieve. I want to come to Enfanizo with 20 cell leaders, with 17 emerging cell leaders, and that is all your life is all about. You don't look to a lot of us are too distracted to operate in the fourth dimension. It's the dimension of space and time. You're not in the three dimension. In the three dimension, you're seeing somebody will see a hair. Oh, look at this hair. They've lost. Oh, they're chasing. They want to go and get hair. Is that human hair? That is that is the object of their focus. You can't operate in the fourth dimension that way. Oh, all of a sudden there's this party going on here. Oh, bam, bam. They were walking. Oh, somebody just called them. Oh, there's a party going on in Lekki. Bam, they just close work. Where? Bam, they just close work. Bam, they just enter. They've gone for the party. They are not focused. They are divided. They can't operate. The best these people can deal is the three-dimensional life. They can't operate in the fourth dimension. Fourth-dimensional people are obsessed. They are focused. There is a goal that they are going to. People that operate in the fourth dimension are the people that create and invent things. Why? Because they bring something from the realm of the unseen to the realm of the seen. They bring something from the realm of the fourth dimension to the realm of the third dimension. They download matters from the space. They bring down civilizations from the space, from the realms of vision. They create things that live after them. They build teams. Those are people that operate in the fourth dimension. The people that operate in the fourth dimension, they are not fizzled by anything. Nothing shakes them because they're perpetually living in a realm that controls the three-dimension realm. Time will fail me to expatiate more on the fourth dimension. But you must be a man of vision obsession. You must be obsessed with the vision. The things, the human hair, basic petty things. Cars don't move them. That's why people in the fourth dimension, they will just come, they have 20 cars. They will, these things are, you're not meant to chase these things. People in the third dimensional, they chase success, they chase cars. Look, I want to do this, I want to eat in this restaurant, yes, and they achieve it. But people in the fourth dimension, those things are mundane to them. They're thinking about how to affect the life, how to make the world a better place, how to affect their team, how to carry their team. People in the fourth dimension, they don't want to go alone. They're always going with their team. They want to go to an event. They won't say, I want to come to Enfanizo by myself. No, what they think, I want to come with 20 people. I want to come to 30 people. They want to carry people along. Those are the people that have the capacity to tap into the fourth dimension. The second way to tap into the fourth dimension is what I call walk. Somebody say walk. Go to the chat box, type walk. People that operate in the fourth dimension, they're the people that create their future via walk. The thing is this: if you're going to operate in the fourth dimension, you must be a body of work. Go and look at the work ethics of the people that operated in the fourth dimension. Go and look at Thomas Edison. The guy was working like his life depended on work, because they understand that work is the currency for buying your future. Let me tell you something. Your future is a reflection of your body of work. Your present today, who you are today, is a reflection of the body of work of yesterday. Now, people that operate in the fourth dimension, they understand that where I am today is as a function of the body of work I put in yesterday. You can't cheat nature. When you see a great man, he created something. What you see, when they see your handwork, is a function of the body of work. What have you created in this life? Look at your team. Your team is a function of the amount of work you have put in the past 6 months or 1 year. If your team is full of chickens and dogs, it is a testament of the body of work you have put in the past 1 year. If your team is full of champions and eagles and diamonds, it's a testament of the body of work you have put in the past 1 year or 2 years. Make no mistakes about it. Your future is a reflection of the body of work you're putting in today. Let me also break it down further so you understand. Let's assume for me to create this phone, I need 20 kilojoules of work to create it in record time. And I put 14 kilojoules of work. What it means is I will create a phone, but this phone will not come with the total features. Don't you understand? You create a phone quite alright, but the quality of the phone is 14 kilojoules quality of work, not 20 kilojoules. Someone that put in 20 kilojoules will produce the same phone, but with greater quality and greater features. So what features is your life an iPhone 15 Pro Max? If you get an iPhone 15 Pro Max and compare it to the iPhone 11, you will discover that the body of work put into iPhone 11 is different from the body of work put into iPhone 15 Pro Max. So the person that has iPhone 15 Pro Max has put in more work, maybe 50 kilojoules of work, while the person that is living an iPhone 11 has put in 11 kilojoules of work. So that's why I said that your life is a reflection of the body of work you're putting. So when you're doing eye service, you're doing poor work, you're playing around, just wait. When the result comes, every man's work will be tested by fire. When the result comes, it will show us the body of work you have been putting in. Let me break it further down so you understand. Let me bring it down to business. Today is Monday. You're a full-timer or you're a part-timer. You're supposed to put in 8 hours of work in this business. You came to work by 8 o'clock, you left by 4 o'clock. But those 8 hours of work, what you put in was 2 hours. What it means is that if you're supposed to talk to 5 of your teammates, you've spoken to 2 of them. You didn't speak to 3. Let me explain to you. Because you didn't speak to 3 of your teammates, nobody is questioning you. But those 3 of your teammates, because they didn't get a word of encouragement from you, they are going down the radar. They are demoralized, they are discouraged. And because you don't know, tomorrow, maybe today, you're supposed to put in 20 minutes of talk with a prospect or with a teammate. You didn't put that 20 minutes of talk with that prospect. As a result of the day, the prospect did not sign into your business. Now you don't know. But guess what? If you are putting that 20 minutes of work, that prospect would have come into our business with one of the highest package. And it adds to your business. Now, but because he didn't do that, because the body of work you did was 20%, that 80% you did not do is going to reflect in the final outcome of your life. That's why when you see people walking like they want to kill themselves, they understand that what I'm creating is as a result of the amount of work I put into it. Nobody is talking to you, but that 4 hours of work you did not put in, you're building an object, you're building a future that when you look at it 2 years down the line, it doesn't please you. It's not easy on the eyes. You're building a team that is weak because you did not give that requisite body of work to it. You're supposed to run you're supposed to run 4 presentations today. You ran 1. Nobody will tell you, nobody will flog you. That is why that's why as entrepreneurs, you have to be disciplined. Nobody will, but as you've run that 1, the other 3 you did not run. There are certain things that will never happen because as you didn't run them, you didn't communicate, you didn't bring in those into your business. So as a result, your business is crawling. So when we talk about work, it is the currency. The more work you put. You see, have you ever seen somebody finish a project and the project is found wanting because they didn't do thorough jobs on the project? Why didn't they do thorough jobs? Because they did not give work. Now remember, the fourth dimension is a dimension of space and time. You need time as a tool to work. That's why when you see people that are opening the fourth dimension, 24 hours is not enough for them. Somebody told me that he prayed to God, God, can you add 2 more hours? Can I live for 26 hours? Why? Because the body of work, time is no longer enough for them. So you can see them recruiting people to help them do the work. When you're not working, you're not creating. God worked for 6 days. At the end of the day, he looked at everything and it was good. He didn't rest. He was working. He was working. He worked for 6 days. A day can be 6,000 years. So he may have worked for 6,000 years. But he was working. You don't rest when you're tired. You rest when you finish working. But that's what God did. He rested out. He did not rest after day 1. I told you guys in the Workers' Day that when you work and you stop, you're doing poor work. You work until you gain momentum and you break even. Elon Musk, can't listen to Elon Musk. Can't listen to him. He works. Can't listen to these people that operate in the fourth dimension. They work like their life depends on it because they understand that if I'm supposed to put in 7 hours of work and I put in 3 hours, those 4 hours I did not put in will affect the output and the outcome of my life. So you look at your life and your life is not palatable. Your life is not a dish that you want to be served in. Your life is not something you're proud of. The reason is because the body of work you have put is found wanting. You have played with your life. And as a result, you're living a life of regret. I told you guys in the former training that when you see an old man carrying the load on his head, another load on his hand, what it means that he has wasted his youth. It's not that he was not working, he was busy, not putting proper work. So when you see what is the body of work that will make you to generate 5 codes? Engineer that explained to us what you need to do to generate 5 codes. You need to make take your business to the next level. If you're not putting in those work, your business, that's why at the end of the day, when people are recognized, some people said something. They said, oh, I was not recognized because I did not put in my... You see, it is time. Time is the unit of work. Everybody is given 24 hours. Ask yourself, what am I doing with the 24 hours that's been given to me? How old are you today? What are you going to do? What have you done with the next 1 year of your life? What have you done with the last 1 year of your life? What will you do with the next 1 year of your life? Can you vow that this next 1 year, this next 6 months of my life, I will bring out something tangible? And it's the body of work that you put in. If you don't like your future today, if you don't like your present today, it is the currency of work yesterday that got you to where you are. If you're 35 years old and you don't have a car, just know that the kind of work, you did not work. You were busy, but you were not working. I've taught you guys before on the elements of good work, true work. You can listen to that training. But you need to put in the body of work to have a future that you desire, a future you can be proud of, a future your children, your grandchildren, your unborn. I don't have a child now, yes, it's okay. But your unborn children will say, yes, my daddy, my great-granddaddy, they did something for me that I'm proud of. Can't you see? Those that your parents lived a good life, can't you see that it made life easier for you? It's the body of work. Can't find out the body of work they put in. You come to work, you're playing, you're gossiping. You are not putting in the work. Secondly, when you're walking, the quote of the month is that, I think I need to bring it out. The quote of the month: those that truly walk don't depend on luck. When you walk, you remove luck from the equation. Let me explain. When you walk, you remove luck from the equation. Because in the fourth dimension, you are creating. You know what it takes. You know what it takes to create. If I know what it takes to create this phone, I don't pray for luck. I know what it takes to create the phone. Now, when you walk, you know what it takes. What does it take to create a 2-comma club member? What does it take? That's why Engineer has given to you the training. What does it take to generate 5 codes in a week? What does it take to generate 10 codes in a week? What does it take to become a connector? That body of work that it takes to become it, it has been revealed to you through Engineer's training. So what you need to do is to go back and begin to put that thing into practice. When you begin to walk, you remove luck. You can predict your business. You can say, by October, when I'm coming to Enfanizo, I'm going to come with 20 emerging cell leaders. You're not just saying it because you want to do it. You understand what it takes to do it. And you go back to the drawing board, to the trenches, and you begin to apply your body of work. When somebody calls, come, let's go and see a movie. Say, hold on, before I see any movie, I must put in this body of work. That is why we have been exposed to what it takes to achieve a certain level of rank. You have been exposed to achieve a certain level of result. So it's not about, are you ready to do the work, or you're not ready to see the, and are you ready to do the work or not? But what I can assure you is, whether you're working or not, your life is a reflection of what you're doing with your time. People that operate in the fourth dimension, they work like mad because they are there to create. Time will fail me to talk more about it, but let me go to the third and the last one. How do you tap into the fourth dimension? Let me say something about work again. When you walk, you come from the end, from the result to the beginning. You come from the output to the input. Every emerging cell leader listening to me, you need to have a meeting with your active partners. That's why this is active. Ask them, are you ready to put in this body of work to achieve this certain kind of result? General has told you what you need to do to get this kind of result. If they are ready to work, put them in a group called the Workforce Group. The flyer will come out maybe tonight or tomorrow. Put them in a group called the Workforce Group. In that Workforce Group, there are people that have decided, I want to create the future that I desire. I want to create the future that I want. And for me to create that future, this is the body of work I must do. Now, let me tell you, I am not going to run active. This might be the last, or one of the last. I won't run active partner program. This kind of trainings cannot come to active partners again. But my next mentorship will be going to people that are in the workforce. So if you are not in the workforce, I can't talk to you anymore. This might be the last active partner training I will have. So now, every emerging cell leader, create a team called the workforce. Let's just say Trailblazers workforce. Now, the people that will be in that workforce are the people that have decided to work. The next training and mentorship I'll be giving to is Kingsmen. And any Kingsman that's not in the workforce, they can't be part of my training anymore. So you have to be in that workforce to be in my trainings going forward. I won't run active partner meet. I won't say I will never. But if the need comes, maybe. But normally I won't be doing active partner training. I hardly do active partner training. But what I'm here to do in this active partner training is to recruit people that will be in the workforce. People that will say, I want to operate in the fourth dimension. So my goal here is to recruit people that will work. Because people in the fourth dimension are people that work. They work. They put in, they take their time and they work. You already know the kind of work you need to do. Now, they take luck out of their business because they know. You see, when I know what it takes to buy this water, I don't pray for luck. People in the fourth dimension are people that happen to things. There are people that things happen to, and there are people that happen to things. There are people that become victims of circumstances. There are people that create those circumstances. People that operate in the fourth dimension and are ready to work. They create those circumstances. Now, the new KPI is going to so when you are doing the KPI now, listen to me. The new KPI going forward is going to be every emerging cell leader. Your KPI will capture everybody on the workforce, even if there are 20 people, 30 people. You will capture everybody on the workforce. Now, people in the workforce are people that have agreed to deliver a certain body of work per time, per week. You know the training that the Engineer Lab gave. So if you say these are the things you need to do. Now let me say this. People that work in the fourth dimension, they are result oriented. They work by results. So once you put that workforce, so when I now say, hey, and everybody in the workforce will be given a number. So you see, when I'm going to my next training, I'm going to be in the workforce of every emerging cell leader. So I know how many people, and every workforce person will be given an identity. So if, for example, in the Excel Nation, there are only 30 workforce people, each of them will be given a number. So when you come to a meeting like this, and the meetings like this, meetings for the workforce will no longer be on YouTube. Meetings for the workforce will be on Zoom alone, only on Zoom. And when you come, you will log for Excel. You put your workforce identity. So every workforce, if there are 40 workforce people in Excel team, you put your name and your number. You put your name, so no person can come with two numbers. In that way, anybody that's not in the workforce cannot be recipients of this level of mentorship. I said there are 3 ways to tap into the fourth dimension. The third way to tap into the fourth dimension, I'm going to talk about it briefly because of time. I call them strategies. I call them secrets. The people in the fourth dimension, there are certain things that they know that people in the 3 dimension don't know. There are certain things that they know. They call them trade secrets. Trade secrets are what gives the people that operate in the fourth dimension an edge over people that operate in the 3-dimensional plan. I call them strategies. Now let me tell you, as I close this meeting, the people that operate in the fourth dimension. In fact, what I'm going to be talking, the next training is going to be on the trade secrets because time is already 9 o'clock and I have to end this meeting by 9. So the next meeting, I'm going to talk about the trade secrets. Let me tell you something about the trade secrets. The trade secrets are secrets handed over from the fourth dimension to the 3-dimensional realm. That is where wisdom comes. The trade secrets are what they call wisdom. So the trade secrets are some things that people will that other people don't know. I have my trade secrets. So people that tap into the fourth dimension, they have what I call the technologies. The person that created the airplane, there's a technology that made him to get a metal object to fly in the air. People that have access to that technology, they operate in the fourth dimension. That is why when they look at them, they say, these people are not mortal men. So I'm tempted, in this training, I was tempted to reveal some of those trade secrets. But unfortunately, the meeting has to come to an end now. So that only people in the workforce will have access to the third way of tapping into the fourth dimension. So there are 3 ways. The first one is vision, focus on vision. Second one is work. The third one is the trade secrets. I was about to talk about the trade secrets, but because network is breaking, it's time to bring this meeting to an end. The next meeting I'm going to have, with the workers' meeting, with the workforce meeting, are people that have decided, I am going to join the workforce. I'm going to work so that my future tomorrow can be beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I bring this meeting to an untimely close.